And we got to see the full evolution. So Garibaldi is bald this season, but we literally saw him full head of hair season 1, balding season 2, short bald season 3, full bald this season.
That really buttresses what I feel like is his journey as a character, what I'm hearing. I love it.
That's right. We used to call him like Dan Aykroyd from the back and Seth MacFarlane from the front.
The devil's mullet.
It was the year of fire takes.
The year of deconstruction.
The year we took down Deep Space Nine.
It was the dawn of a new show.
The year of a great journey.
The year of deadlines.
And the year of joy.
It was a new season.
It was the end of another.
It was the year everything changed.
The year is 2026.
The name of the show, You Gotta Check This Out. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of You Gotta Check This Out with Mike and Dre. I am Dre. I am joined by Mike of MikeSlater.com. And Mike, we have seen the face of the enemy, and the face of the enemy is Babylon 5, Season 4, Episode 18. We are trudging along.
I knew from the very, very beginning, that first episode we get together when Garibaldi was coming down that arrow, that lift, that he was going to be the bad guy. And this, we've seen the face of the enemy. The face of the enemy is Michael Garibaldi. Came true after all these episodes.
Oh my gosh, major foreshadowing or spoiler reveals now.
It's in the title of the episode. How can it be a spoiler?
As mentioned, this show is You Gotta Check This Out. We are introducing people to nostalgic things from our past we think they should check out. And Mike, you roped in another friend. Who did you get this time to actually watch?
This is actually kind of a new friend of mine through bands. He's a guitar player. He's a piano player. He's a fellow instructor at the School of Rock. This is Ait Fetterolf. Ait, can you introduce yourself to everybody?
Hey, yeah, that's my name. You nailed it. That's my name, Ait Fetterolf.
Nice.
I teach here at School of Rock for the last 3 or 4 years. Before that, I've been fortunate enough to not have careers, but things I'm ticking off my big list of things I want to accomplish in life. So I've done stand-up at the Comedy Store. I had my Type 5 there a few times. I've been a professional wrestler. I have briefly worked security for a film festival as well as professional photography. I went to film school. I wrote a film. I've acted in films. I was background actor for a year. I've been on TV. I've been just checking things off. And now I have a job that doesn't feel like a job, where I teach children about music and get to show them grindcore bands and tell them.
How does showing children grindcore bands compare with, say, let's pick wrestling from that list?
Oh, it's about the same in terms of impeding development, about the same in terms of don't be proud of this, about the same in terms of attire. No, it's those were all fine, but there's something about doing the same thing over and over. There's a security to it, but also it takes so little mental tax on me. I was born with perfect pitch, luckily enough that it's just, I can go in without any prep and there's nothing I need to do at home, and I just go and I teach and I come home and it's the best. And I can write in the meantime, try to do other stuff.
Yeah, I've talked with several other guests about actually being a teacher. We've had one other instructor, Evan, from a way earlier episode we had on for guests. Yep. Yeah, she's great. But we often talk about, I bring up just having to substitute with the kids, because that's what I do more. I don't have a regular gig anywhere, and just having to make a rapport with a different kid at a different age. And sometimes I don't know what I'm getting into at any moment. I like being on the seat of my pants like that, and just like having to find a connection with someone and leave them with something out of that lesson.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. We're going to do something. That's absolutely right.
I love it. And this is a running theme on the show, which is, we'll have a guest on, and there are so many amazing things we could talk about from that list alone. Unfortunately, no, but we do have to get to Babylon 5.
Previously on Babylon 5.
That we are into the midst of season 4, as mentioned. We're really getting going. As noted, this episode does not really take place on Babylon 5. We are going to wrap up a major arc for Garibaldi. Now, Mike is making the claim that we have known from season 1, throwing a lot at you, Ait, where Michael Garibaldi was chief of security. So think Worf on Star Trek. He was instrumental in a big war that just took place. And then at the end of the war, he was like kidnapped randomly he showed back up, and after he showed back up was acting really weird. And no one thought that was weird except his second in command. So he randomly quit his job, has been a detective. He winds up embroiled in a Martian telepath plot. This episode is almost outside of the normal show entirely because there's this weird noir mystery, almost Twilight Zone that we mentioned.
Yeah, but it ends up wrapping up a ton of stuff from the last few episodes before this.
So it's at the stage where we're in the midst of an Earth kind of civil war. Babylon 5 is going to fight against a unfair fascist regime. Well, tons to talk there. Michael Garibaldi's on Mars trying to do something with telepaths. And we did Moments of Transition with John Ryman. That's episode 14 of season 4. So we've only had 2 episodes since that one that have come up. And let me start reading the recap. So we've had No Surrender, No Retreat, episode 15, and Exercises of Vital Power. So the first one on No Surrender, No Retreat, what we get is John Sheridan, our captain, is going, we're taking back Earth. We're going to have a civil war. It's interesting because he's basically saying he wants it to be a fair fight. So it's just going to be Earth. So he tells all of the other alien races, cut off your ties with Earth. Any of your alliances are done, but it's just our fight. We don't want you involved before he takes a giant Minbari Vorlon fleet of advanced technology to take it, but we'll give it to him. And then we get these...
a lot that happens in this episode. I thought when I first saw it on my first watch through that we were going to do this episode.
Yeah, because there's a ton. The other key part about this episode is 2 characters you didn't get to see at all, 8, but are Londo and Jakar. 2 of the most popular characters from the show. One looks like a peacock, the peacock hair.
Yeah, from the Mikado. I get you.
Love it, yes. And then we got Lizard Guy. They're mortal enemies, and this is an episode where they bury the hatchet to unite behind Earth. And I was laughing so much about some scenes because one of these characters is literally a plantation owner that owns slaves. The other race is the slave race. He made a deal with the devil to take over the other guy's planet. And then he's like, why are you so mad at me? What's your problem with me, dude? And I'm just like watching it. What? Although you'll appreciate this metaphor I brought up a few times. I said it was very professional wrestling, where in wrestling, there are so many heel and face turns that if you really pinpoint, you're like, wait a minute, didn't you do this horrible thing to my house and my wife and this? Shouldn't we be mortal enemies? It's, yeah, but we got to team up to take down Stone Cold. You're like, okay.
Yeah, you aimed a gun at my grandma last week. Yeah, exactly. Specific scenario you mentioned with these 2 characters, which I wish I would have seen that episode. I'm now intrigued because I see so much. There's a video game series, Mass Effect, you guys are probably familiar with. I'm betting that they drew a lot from and I'm sure they're on the record as saying Babylon 5 is an influence, because that's one of the huge plots of Mass Effect 2, I want to say. It's these 2 people that have to get along and do something, but one's a slave race, essentially, and the other's the slaver race. So much.
I really like Londo's full arc in this whole series too, because he makes, as Dreo's alluding to, he makes a kind of a deal with the devil way early on in season 1, and very soon he lives to regret it. But his whole arc over the whole series shows that he, no matter what he does, he can never get beyond, he never do enough to make up or apologize for that initial decision. And he's always on this monkey's paw. You got what you wanted out of the initial wish, but you have to drink your medicine and have the poison too as it goes on. You kind of see him becoming a better person, a better character, but still having to suffer for his original sins. It's really fascinating watching him having completed the series.
And then we get 2 other things. So they go to take back Earth. This is the future. So Earth has multiple colonies. Proxima 3 is one of them. They take back Proxima 3 and they have to take down Bob Kelso from Scrubs. He's the evil guy, which is just...
Oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah. Oh, I've seen him in so many things. I love that guy. I forget his name.
Yeah, it's rough because I've known his name before, and at this point he morphs into Bob Kelso. He was also on an episode of Star Trek as also another evil captain that does it so.
Ken Jenkins is his name. Yeah. So he's been a character actor everywhere.
I love him. Love him so much. And then this is actually the start of the arc we're going to discuss on today's episode. Garibaldi leaves for Mars and is like, I'm never coming back. All right, episode 16, Exercise of Vital Powers. Garibaldi meets William Edgars, a powerful businessman on Mars that has been paying Garibaldi to be a smuggler for him on Babylon 5. And lots of silly stuff. If you want to see me, you have to go to this place blindfolded. You're going to have to prove your loyalty. Sheridan keeps his fleet thing on. He's taken more colonies back. We have Lita, our redheaded telepath that we'll see a little of in this episode. Okay, stay with me.
We're with you.
We're going to try and do this. In the middle of a shadow war, a big war that you're past, with basically god races fighting each other. Shadows took telepaths, because there are telepaths in this universe, and implanted neural network metallic devices in their heads so that the telepaths could be pilots/CPUs of their ships.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that happened.
Like neural slavery to their whole race, yeah.
So
yeah.
There are a bunch of telepaths that are stuck in stasis because they have this alien technology stuck in their head that you cannot remove. And if you wake them up, they immediately start messing up all the technology up around them, a la Superman 3.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
This is such a wild show. And that's Mike's reference. Mike had that.
Okay.
Anytime we could pull out a Superman 3 reference, it's a win for me.
So Dr. Franklin
scarred me in a great way as a kid.
Oh my God.
It is. That is terrifying. Yeah. That the scene. If you have people out there listening, if you have not seen the Superman 3 woman cyborg scene, go watch it. Have nightmares. You're welcome. Dr. Franklin is trying to cure these telepaths who are, incidentally, one of them is the lover of Bester, who we're going to meet. He is a powerful telepathic cop, aka Psy-Cop. So they've made a I know. My God, Mike,
I love it.
How
There's so much. There's so
keeps.
Yeah, I'm just shaking my head at the beauty of it. There's so many. You got everything for every niche sci-fi interest that you might have. That there's someone like, I like mine a little more psyop than cyborgy and stuff.
Well, we got that too.
Yeah, we do. Bam. It's so good.
So the doctor is trying to cure these telepaths that are implanted with alien technology, but he can't. But Lita, a telepath who was modified by the Vorlons, another alien race, she's able to talk to these telepaths and actually almost wake them up and show like a response. So that happens last episode, and they're going to use these telepaths maybe as something nefarious in the future. We don't know yet, Mike. We'll talk a little bit about this next episode. So Lita and Dr. Franklin have to go to Mars with these telepaths now. And then also on Mars, Edgars, the old businessman, clearly evil.
The megacorp guy who owns everything on
with
Mars.
A wisp of a mustache that I did not notice until half an hour in because the lighting was just right. I was like, whoa, when did you grow that?
How about this? Does it remind you of the Cesar Romano Joker mustache? Because they painted his face white but left it on. It reminded me.
No, I'm not. You're not paying me enough to shave. Sorry. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Put the flesh makeup right over that. That's all you get.
So Edgars basically admits that he's got a problem with the Psi-Corps, this big corporation of telepaths that are slowly becoming a branch of President Clark, our fascist president on Earth. And Edgars is like, I don't like this. That's too much power. And the end of the previous episode coming right into this is he tells Garibaldi, he goes, Garibaldi, you're going to need to give me Captain Sheridan to President Clark if you want to prove your loyalty to me. And that brings us into the episode, Mike. And that was so much to go, Mike. We got to just get going with the episode.
You missed a couple things. Not only did I think we should bring it in a little more that how much Garibaldi he had to go and get interrogated by a telepath episode by Edgars, because they had took an extra beat to show that Edgars was going to go through so many steps to prove that Garibaldi was really loyal to him, to the point where they brought a telepath in to read his mind, to look at, okay, he's clean, there's no brakes on him, we can let him in.
Man, there was so much to throw, and I was like, oh man, that's too much, but I'm agreeing, Mike, we'll stay here a little longer.
Previously on Babylon 5.
Another key point that telepath revealed is they have a telepath do a scan of Garibaldi to prove he's on the legit. Okay. And one question Edgars asks Garibaldi is, are you still in love with my wife, Lise? Because Michael, Garibaldi, and Lise have a past. I know so much, right? Have a past. And the telepath reveals Garibaldi's still got a thing for Lise. And at the very end of it, Edgars kills the telepath so that only he knows the information the telepath has given him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the key scene in that last one. That kind of like teased everything up for this episode. You ready for the episode then, Dre? I think you're trying to say something about moving forward.
Yeah, let's move on to the episode. There's literally nothing else to do. I've done everything on my checklist.
Unless you've forgotten once again about the Talia Winters memory quiz we have to give our guest.
Oh, gosh.
Ait, are you ready to be quizzed?
Yes, as long as no proper nouns are needed.
No proper nouns needed.
I would great description, like a suspect of some sort. Yes, I can.
Well, you'll be happy to know, I hope, that we've recently expanded the quiz to include the other co-host. Dre, I'm giving you questions as well. The two of you are going to go in against each other.
Oh, God.
Are you ready, Ait?
Yes.
Are you ready, Dre?
Let's do it.
Okay, the first category is put on the glasses. Question. In the episode's opening battle, why are Earth forces fighting Sheridan to the death instead of surrendering?
Dre, they have been fed propaganda that they will all be killed and replaced by Minbari pilots if they are captured and lose.
That is correct. First question goes to Dre, no multiple choice yet.
I remember he said something like, we're going to die anyway or something. Yep.
Second question, the category is Garibaldi's illusions. What biblical figure does Garibaldi make a reference to in this episode?
Ait. Jesus of Nazareth. Or, no, excuse me. It was Jesus of Nazareth's betrayal by Judas Iscariot.
That is correct.
Can I just say, as the occasional scorekeeper for Mike in these trivia things, and I guess Stephen there, absolutely love the full answer with all, like the full, you could have just said Judas, but the full thing.
Oh yeah, you could have gotten away with just Judas, but yeah, you get holy points for doing the whole thing for that question.
Yeah, not Judas O'Riordan who runs the pub down the street.
And just to be clear, that's holy spelled W-H-O-L-Y.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Holy. All right, third category is going to be nerd numbers. Which white star does Marcus report is hit?
8. Is it a trick question? It's not a star, it's Io, one of the moons of...
Nope, this is a straightforward number question. Okay. So I'm going to have to give the multiple choices over to Dre.
Okay.
Dre, is it white star 21, white star 25, white star 20, white star 18, or white star 27?
I hate you so much.
You know, I love doing this to you.
27.
No, it was white star 20. No points for this question.
White star 20. I'm with you. It shouldn't be an even 20. That's not right. They should have workshopped that a little more. Yeah.
I just having that's just a shot in the dark guess for everybody, for one of them, especially for the nerd numbers question, each one. All right. Third category is Chekhov's adjectives. During his speech to Garibaldi, what word does Bester use to describe himself as to why he's letting Garibaldi live? It's a very specific adjective he describes himself as.
I'm remembering because I was laughing when I'll say I'm annoyed and I'm stalling. So, Ait, if you can think of it, go for it and take it.
I think it's, do I recall benevolent? Is it benevolent?
Are you going to ring in and have that be your answer?
8, benevolent.
That is not the answer. All right, Dre, here are your multiple choice answers. Gracious. Is he capricious? Is he superior? Is he humble? Is he magnanimous? Or is he kind?
I think he said capricious, right?
He did say capricious, but he did not say that
as adjective to himself.
He called himself magnanimous. I'm being magnanimous for letting you go.
That's right. He said he's not cruel. I'm not cruel. I'm not capricious. No, yes. I'm sorry. He said it the other way around because I thought it was odd. I'm not capricious. I'm not cruel. And that doesn't work for me.
Exactly. My trap worked for you, Dre. I put something he said but did not just to answer the question. So no points again. All right, last question. The category is my pack is bigger than yours. What is the name of the Earth Force Special Ops teams with a mix of telepaths and non-telepaths?
Is it Shadow Ops?
No, I do appreciate your moxie and buzzing in for all of these, but that's not going to. Dre, here are your options. Is it the Dog Squad, the Telepoochies, the Paw Patrol, the Bone Hunters, or the Bloodhound Unit?
Isn't it Bloodhound? I thought there was blood in the name, right?
Yes, you're correct. The Bloodhound Units. That's the end of the quiz. This is, I think, going to be on the leaderboard as the lowest scoring quiz ever. For 2-1 as the final score. Dre?
Soccer. Oh, and that's with me. I metagamed that and waited for the multiple choice and missed the multiple choice because Mike is a mean quiz person.
Mike Sheridan, I laid the nuke out there for you in those questions.
Yeah. All right. You miss 100% of the shots you take. Ait Fetterolf. That's my quote.
Right, Aaron. So, getting into it, let's start on with the episode, The Face of the Enemy. We're introduced to one of many of, what great authors and writers know as tell, don't show. Mm-hmm. So we start with Ivonava, who is our second in command, soon to be first in command, just recapping us on what's going on, that they're fighting to take back Earth, that they know who the enemy is right this time, which is what makes it harder. Because the brother versus brother fighting themselves. It's a Civil
War, thing going on.
Kind of thing.
She's basically doing what we just did for the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Just in case you missed it, by the way, which is one reason this episode...
on Mars.
Yeah, it's one reason this episode may be easier because, we have a lot of characters. In case you missed it, I'm going to really fill in everything. And we get Lita, who is our telepath, with Franklin, our doctor from Babylon 5, going to Mars on a covert mission for Sheridan.
Yep. I figured, do we know? Yeah, we know at the audience that they're bringing the telepaths there. It's just the people on Mars don't know what it is they're bringing at this point.
And we still don't know 100% what's going on with the telepaths, but it's been getting very sketch because Dr. Franklin thinks he's trying to cure these telepaths, get rid of the neural networks in their head. Yeah. But Sheridan is like, we're really going to need those telepaths soon. We're really going to need those telepaths soon.
It's ready. Where are my telepaths?
Next scene, we get into our evil white guys, just the evil Republicans, and that's really on the nose. We got a billionaire with a conspiracy theorist plotting together. It's too on the nose.
Well, at least he's plotting also against other white billionaire Republicans in this one, too, and some who have their own telepath army. So it's Mr. Burns has all the diseases in his body. Hopefully they just balance each other out.
Oh, yeah, that Ken Watanabe gift, let them fight.
Exactly. But yeah, so Garibaldi, former chief of security, is on Mars. He's proved his loyalty to William Edgars, and the way he's proved it is he is going to help William Edgars capture Captain Sheridan, who is leading the resistance against Earth, and deliver him to President Clark, the evil president of Earth. And the way Garibaldi's figured it out is Sheridan's dad has a rare disease that requires a really expensive medicine, and he happens to be working with the head of a biopharmacist place. So he's really easy to be able to track it. And as soon as we capture his dad, then we can lure Sheridan out saying it's his dad. And then we get a really almost heartbreaking scene, especially as it goes forward, because Garibaldi almost seems to realize what he's doing is bad and evil. He's just, he makes the Judas reference. The last guy that did this got 30 pieces of silver.
Yeah.
Luring family members out by threatening their family members. We know this is the worst thing you can do, right?
In Chicago, no, they mentioned specifically Chicago. So there was things that they planted early in the episode that I liked for at least someone who just happened to, for instance, turn it on the TV, right? Was this on UPN or was this on CW? Or was this
it was a Warner Brothers show, so you could have seen it potentially on the UPN. Yeah, that is correct, because it would have been a WB affiliate.
So what I liked is that they put in things that tell me exactly the kind of world. So they say 2060 something in the first part of the narration, and then they say Chicago. So I know that this is a futuristic, my universe probably kind of place where there's Chicago, and then it's maybe less than 100 years in the future kind of thing. So I appreciate that about it a lot too.
Yeah, it's like Marvel using New York and real places, as opposed to DC is Gotham City and Metropolis.
Yeah,
it's just two different approaches to it.
I knew exactly where I was, which I liked a lot.
Next scene, we jump into our Civil War. Sheridan is kicking butt and taking names, but he doesn't want to hurt him. It's a running theme where Sheridan, it's what I love about Sheridan is he'll hurt someone in a fight, and he'll be like, there's still chances. Get to the life pods to like the thing that's on fire and gonna explode. That happens later.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Sheridan's in a fight and he's going, just surrender. We don't want to hurt you. And they go, if we surrender, we're going to be killed and be replaced by Minbari pilots. And Minbari are the aliens with bone heads. I think we see them a couple times.
Okay. That answers a question. That it's a bonehead alien and not an ornate head decoration of some sort.
That's the part of their head. That's the bone coming out of the head.
Sure. With the production budget, I couldn't quite tell, but that clarifies it. Very good. I thought it might be like some species on their planet. Good.
Some kind of hat they got on.
That is a hat or alien.
Jaunty hat made out of the bones.
Bones, a lot of weirder stuff has been made of bones. Yeah.
True. But for what it's worth, the Minbari were in the last major war with Earth. And I did put this in my notes just for backstory. I keep bringing this up. The fleet that Sheridan is using, the White Star fleet, they were constructed by the Minbari.
Okay.
They have Earth and Minbari pilots because they're the Rangers. And the Rangers are a coalition of Earth and Minbari. So these ships are piloted by Minbari. They were built by Minbari, and they were built on Vorlon technology, an ancient race that is now left. So when Sheridan's like, why do you think I would be replacing with Minbari? It's, you're coming in Minbari ships that are piloted by Minbari people that way outclass our ships.
You're super tight with that one Minbari lady and seemingly everybody she's with all the time.
Yeah. So it's funny because he's like, why would you think that? And there is a propaganda war against Babylon 5. There have been a few episodes on it, but it's like not that hard of a stretch. I was laughing there.
No. I love an ancient race. I love every time that they talk about the ancient race. I'm like, oh, so this is like millions of years ago people had technology. I love an ancient race, Prometheus, anything like that. Mm-hmm. I love the ancient race.
StarCraft and StarCraft 2 are the two for me that I love. Like the Xel'Naga and Alans have a lot of overlap.
Yes. Primitive, but more technologically advanced than we currently are kind of thing. Yes.
Yeah. This is actually just after we finish off one major storyline for the first 3-4 seasons of 2 first one races and finding first ones too. So yeah, you got a lot of good stuff to go back to, don't you?
Interesting.
Yeah. So then we have Captain Mackie, and what I love, and I'm going to give spoilers to other episodes, like everybody just calls this guy Mackie for the red, like Mackie, like everybody knows him. Like it's Mac, like and everybody in the galaxy is just like Mackie. He comes on and he's going, I don't know, John, and John's like, hey, remember, I learned it watching you. He basically says to Mackie, I was at the academy, you were a teacher, I learned it watching you. Brief off ramp here, talking to 2 teachers. Do your students ever get you that, where they're doing a thing and you try and tell them and they're like, but you told me this, and you're like, I did tell you that.
I often will hedge my bets and go, if I'm contradicting myself, I'm right now. And I will say that.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Good way to approach it. Yep.
Because it's possible that, especially in music, when you're teaching something, it might be where they are in their musical journey a few months ago, and they've caught on quite quickly. So I will now change my mind and go, you can handle something a little more. And so I'm changing my mind. Or if the most annoying thing on earth is when you're doing a band and a song fades out. Thank Christ, there's no more fades out anymore. Mm-hmm. And you have to come up with an ending, right? Yeah. And if you get fancy with it and you go, all right, we're going to go back to the chorus for a little bit and then end on and if you get too fancy and they forget and you go, all right, guys, I'm changing my mind. We're going to just end with just this word, look at the drummer.
Yeah, usually just someone just starts looking around, panic logo, 1, 2, 3, 5, and you're done. Get out of it the easy way.
They just get out of this. I don't know if there's a realistic way to think about communications between ships. Do you think it's like a party line where you can just hop on and go, you can interrupt. You're like going, oh, I'm here. What's up? So there's 2 captains talking. And then one person went like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm still here.
Yeah. It's like interrupting a Zoom call.
It's like a ham radio or something channel breaker. I'm here. I'm listening too. I was like, whoa, there's no way I would think that you think they'd just be talking to one ship.
Yeah, I don't think they get into how their shortwave works too much. They do have a whole episode where they have to boost their signal for their pirate radio stuff that they are sending out.
So you're saying every question I have is probably going to have a textual answer.
JMS's Bible for this was rich.
Oh, good.
But I will say there is an infamous or famous line that JMS has about the speed of his ships. And he says they move at the speed of plot. And I think a lot of the technology works that way. And I'm for and against that as a fan of literature and storytelling. Of if it's something that doesn't make sense, it's only a failure if you notice it. If it's something that doesn't make sense, but you keep watching, it's not technically a failure because the narrative trumps everything. But you are right. In this case, I can give the line that Sheridan is broadcasting to all of the ships. So he's probably got an open line to everybody. But you are right. There is both Babylon 5 and Star Trek have those things where two ships are talking to each other and another one just hops in and you're just like, not a secure line?
Yeah, I don't know. Okay? Yeah, I feel like anyone could come in and listen. Yeah. It reminds me, what you just mentioned, the speed of the plot reminds me of, I forget, it was a second cinematographer or something on a classic noir, and I can't remember which. And the actor had a question about, where is this light coming from? They were lighting a scene. They're like, where's the light coming from? And he said, the same place the music's coming from. So things that you have to, whatever works for the scene, we're making a movie here, folks, kind of thing. Yeah. You have to earn it, though. Absolutely.
So, and we do get in this scene. So Mackie convinces the other ships to either surrender or join up. Then Captain Sheridan's last ship, the Agamemnon, shows up and is, hey, at first they said you were bad. And we were like, maybe he's bad. And we're like, nah, not John. What Mike notes here is Sheridan's, I'm going to go to my old ship. I trust him. And he says his weakness. So we do have this thing where Sheridan goes, this is my old crew. We got along great. I trust them no matter what. I hope that doesn't come back to bite him.
Yeah, anywhere in this episode, that trust might come back to him.
The next scene, I would say mostly, Mike, we just get laying pipe, pun intended, for plot, because we get Franklin and Lita they're on Mars. That's going to be important for a future episode. They brought a bunch of telepaths with them, which is upsetting, number one. And number one also says, hey, Clark has been using his telepaths as a military wing against the Mars resistance. And that's, I believe, going to be the end of the Franklin and Lita plot line. But just to explain it, it's getting those characters on Mars for where we're going to need them shortly. It's setting up the robotic telepaths that we're going to need shortly. And it's setting up the normies versus telepath fight that is coming.
I could have sworn they were going to use the word normie at some point, and they never did.
They said mundanes.
Mundanes, and then later on, they used some other similar phrase, and I was waiting. I was like, oh, man, that's right. I guess they wouldn't use that. So the people on the gurneys that had the sheets over them, they are not technically dead. Did I understand that right?
That's correct.
Then?
They have just implants in them by one of those first races, so they could be used as weapons by them.
Because I was about to say, it's like they're taking on hand trucks, and I was like, that's a very cavalier way to transport a human body. But I guess they're
pretty
alive.
Much mostly unconscious, but still living in there.
Mostly dead. Okay.
Just mostly dead.
Yeah.
All right, we get on to trusting Sheridan's on his old ship, the Agamemnon. They're like, man, you're great. We're great. We're all great. Everything's great. And then he gets a message from Garibaldi, his former chief of security.
Your dad's not great.
That's right. In Chicago. Your dad's in Chicago. He's sick. This is totally not a trap.
Yeah. And this is the hilarity because Garibaldi's, I know we're not on great terms, but they got your dad and I can help, but we got to move fast. So Sheridan tells Ivonava, his second in command, I'm going to trust Garibaldi. I'm going to go. Gives her the thing. Ivonava, you're in command. We get a nice capper to our Mars Lita telepath thing with the resistance. So Lita explains to everybody that the Mars resistance is mad because telepaths are being used as a weapon against them. And then Lita recalls in her early days with the Psi Corps that there was a telepath being wrongfully, whatever you want to call it, beat up, whatever, on a planet, and nobody would do anything. So the telepaths went and essentially made it so this one person's mind is screwed up forever. And she just notes that there is a lot of intentional, with how the scene is, bloodlust between telepaths and mundane, and it's going to crescendo. It's a little ham-fisted because there is going to be a telepath war in season 5, and Mike will have lots to talk about it. But we do get a little more backstory leading up to
the but I thought this was, to stay on that for a moment longer, this was a really good backstory scene for Lita, because she got cheated out of a couple seasons when Talia Winters was a telepath after she had already been in the pilot. So I like that she gets these scenes now that you've gotten to know her character for kind of a whole season all the way through now, where she's still dropping more hints about like where she came from, her history with the Psi Corps. It's a good way, I thought, to bring all that in on it.
Oh, yeah. The history, like she would just drop all these things. I really enjoyed this show. I feel like I'm going to watch more. It borderline sometimes did that cardinal sin of mentioning in passing cooler stories that I'm more intrigued in. I was like intern at a Psi Cop? I want to hear that. I want to hear about how you interned as a psychic police officer and had to fight off like corruption. And I'm intrigued about that, right?
Yeah, they don't ever actually go back for a full like flashback episode of her, but they talk about it a lot in different ways. And the other telepath goes at a lot of her backstory and coming up on the Psi Cops.
Serpico meets Carrie. I want to see that film.
Yeah. We get our mandatory, there has to be at least one scene on the station at Babylon 5. So we see our boneheads, that's Delenn and Lanier. Right. Delenn is the unofficial leader of the Minbari, the boneheaded people. Lanier is her second in command. They get back to Babylon 5. They hear about Sheridan and Garibaldi, and they're like, does this seem like a bad idea? And it's, yeah, it probably does. Anyway, that's all.
It's just so they can make sure they get as many characters as possible. Have a quick drop in like, Sheridan, don't do this.
The gentleman's outfit needed a belt. That was the main thing I wrote about that scene. The woman had a lovely ornate belt. And most times when you put a tunic on a man in sci-fi, it just needs the cinch it together. You need that belt. I'm sorry. That's all I had.
All right. So
I love it.
I really want to ask about the music and the filmography of the next scene at the end. So the next, this is an awesome scene. Everybody has to be on Mars, right? So Sheridan makes it to Mars. Garibaldi's like, here's what happened. Someone gave up your dad because of this. So your dad's kind of screwed. And Sheridan's like, okay, what do you do now? Garibaldi's classic Ozymandias. It's already done. He slaps a tranquilizer on his hand. And then we get this rock and roll scene, these weird cuts, the flash photography almost.
It was great.
But cuts and just Sheridan just gets beat up by a Martian bar while he's drugged out.
It's like Babylon 5 flash dance in the middle of nowhere.
There was like Jacob's Ladder-esque scenes of that dancing where her tail appears, but there's also flashes of Fiona Apple's Criminal video. It is very much at time like a of its time kind of shot and sequence that was beautiful. There was like the still ones that had the direct flash, Ouija-esque flash. It was just great. I dug that scene like crazy.
Yeah, and it kept going on and on because it wanted to show also how like Sheridan's like he's fighting through it because he's been the tough guy protagonist throughout everything. It's like, how many guys can you fight through on tranquilizers for a while? So yeah, they really dragged it out, but it was fun to watch.
I also think storyline, what was important about that is, this is very Game of Thrones, George R.R. Martin, right? We didn't see this happening to our hero. And we have to believe, hey, we had had multiple seasons to give past spoilers, whatever you want to call that to guess, Mike, where Sheridan's prequel spoilers. Sheridan is this unwinnable scenario, and he literally just leaps and is saved. And I guess there's no more cost, right, to save him. So we are used to Sheridan being in, how is he going to get out of this? And he gets out of this. So in this scene, it's, okay, what's he going to do? And it's
like, we've seen that happen to him twice before because 2 big times he was saved at the end of both seasons. I like this time the speed at which it turns around on him. It comes out of nowhere because we know as the audience he's walking into a trap. He's going to go in there really quick, but the scene takes 5 seconds from as soon as he sits down to where the trank gets nailed on him. So and to do that and then to go into this 90s strobe light fight with everybody in the bar, it really took as a good story turn.
I also remember a moment where I thought he might have actually had the upper hand at some point against the thugs. There was a shot and there was an angle where he's pretty tall and felt like he just shook off the tranquilizer or something. Oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah.
It's like when you just have a couple beers after a bad LSD trip or something. It's like
he also got to that good moment of realization because at the first part of the scene, it's just, okay, I'm just going into a seedy bar. Everybody's here for different things. I'm meeting my buddy Covert. And then you realize, oh shit, everybody in this bar is in on it because everybody turns around and takes a turn on Sheridan.
It's like an RPG. It's like Knights of the Old Republic. It's like that literally looks like those bars in that, like you go in there. So that's why I was expecting like some alien like pole dancers, but that's okay. But it looks exactly like that. And then like you get drugged and then you'd realize everyone around you now has hit points. And you're like,
First off, season 1 absolutely would have had that. I think they either ran out of budget or decided against. And then as mentioned, like the last time Sheridan walked into a trap, he had a plan. So this was awesome. As you're seeing this for the first time, but if you're an audience member following along, it's like, our protagonist literally just gets taken out and doesn't even hit the enemy. Like in previous times when he's getting taken out, he's hit the enemy, and then we get the full-bore propaganda. We've seen multiple episodes. The next scene is ISN, Interstellar News Network, that reports everything, and they've become the Fox News, a wing of President Clark, feeding propaganda. And we saw like an entire episode. And so they are doing this funny juxtapose where they're saying Sheridan was captured, but he's being treated very well. And we, unlike him, we're being respectable, and we're juxtaposing that with him just getting beaten up in a jail cell.
Then classic example of space handcuffs. It's one of the finest examples of space handcuffs or sci-fi handcuffs I've seen in an episode ever. Just full, like almost gauntlet-like. It was good quality prop work.
Much better than, would you agree, Mike? Much better than Jakar's space weird thing that he broke out of.
Oh yeah, but that was a totally different thing. There was the Centauri Prime planet, and it was even supposed to look like an old stockade compared to this. So I'll give it points for like doing its thing on this, but this, just seeing where he was captured and going between those like Fox News like scenes of ISN reporting. It's just done so right after we got the 90s video too. They're going deep on experimentation in the middle of nowhere in this episode.
This was a great first segment. I have a question that this scene raised. They seem pretty informal as like a military. Are they a military kind of? Are they more USS Enterprise, or are they more like a space marine? They are military. Boy, they're just calling people by their first name all the time. Like Susan comes there. Susan. They just say Susan all the time, like it's a workplace comedy. I don't quite remember who Susan is, but hey, Susan's here to be the captain of the Space Marines.
I think since they've broken off from Earth Force, they've gotten a little more informal rather than using last names.
I like that.
They're the Resistance.
But the Resistance uses first name. I love it.
I fundamentally have to disagree with Mackie. Like, again, same thing. They're all on an open channel with the commander or captain of a spaceship. And they're like, hey, Mac, even the enemy. Like, even the enemy in this episode when they were fighting a few episodes ago when Bob Kelso fought, they're just like, he's Mac, do what you're told. It's what? So I agree. It is interesting because it is explicitly military.
Yeah,
but they let go of a lot of the official militariness.
Yeah, the other big thing that they went to super casual is Corwin getting the Abercrombie shirt. As soon as they went Resistance, this guy just ditched his uniform, just started wearing these button-ups from Abercrombie. And he's thinking of the main bridge.
Really?
It's the best, because when they say they're going to take on Earth, they're like, we're doing it. We're taking on Earth. And you cut to this guy, Corwin, who Mike is now nicknamed Abercrombie, which I love. And he's in an Abercrombie shirt with coiffed hair. And he's wing 1, go, wing 2, go. And the ships are going, and we got military music.
And they're listening to him. It's great.
And he's going to be like, and don't forget your 10% off coupon. You got to be well dressed. It's like very jarring.
I got a guy in the down below.
All right, but that is a relevant question. And no, there's no real answer to it. I could just buy that as too much work to keep it too military and wanted some character.
Fair. Yeah, no, yeah.
Now we get X-Men meets A Few Good Men is the next scene. William Edgars and Garibaldi. So Garibaldi comes back as, hey, Edgars, I betrayed Sheridan. Now give me all the information that I have been doggedly asking for you, almost to a suspicious degree. Have no suspicions about the fact that I keep telling you to tell me about this telepath plan. And Edgars, all right, that sounds good. And then his second, so Edgars is the billionaire. He's got this guy named Wade, who's like a tall guy with white hair, who's a literary major, is what he said in previous episodes. And they're just like, let's give you a philosophy lesson and our evil plot all in one.
Yeah.
After Garibaldi's, I want the truth.
He was a big hand talker. This guy did a gesticulation with every single sentence that he said. It was like... He was like a close-up magician, but also a karate video instructor that goes like, when people come at you, you must defend and stuff like keeping people safe from people like you.
For the listeners, Ait is doing so much with his hands right now.
Yeah,
I can't be mad because I've been doing that the whole episode, and I've been doing like excited stuff. So many hands.
And I'm just like Twitter pated over here with all the hand motions of these guys. It's beautiful.
We basically get Edgars in his second giving us big, literally X-Men striker spiel where they're like, telepaths are superior and that there's a war coming and they can talk to each other and we never even hear it, and that's a problem. Garibaldi said the same. And so what they have done is they have come up with a virus that is going to take out the telepaths, and that like they will have to, in order to not die from the virus, they're gonna have to get the cure. That was the fun part. Garibaldi smuggled the cure, and so he thought he was doing something good. They're like, we've got this medicine for telepaths in case they ever get this virus, and I'm doing good. And they're like, and we made the virus. Who could have seen that coming? So that's their evil plan. And they basically go, hey, in 3 weeks, we're going to unleash the virus on the telepaths. Then we'll win. Then we'll knock out like President Clark's one of his major legs. He's placated now because we gave him Sheridan. Everything is coming to plan, right? Evil finger motion. And then what we get is just everybody in this show, Mike, does not know how to be discreet. Because they just said their evil plan in the open ballroom.
Yeah.
And Lise happens to be like, his wife happens to be behind the door.
Just hanging out there behind there, not even doing too much to disguise yourself.
Beautifully shot. Just, Dios mío.
Here's the whole thing. And then she leaves. And then right after she leaves, again, in the middle of this very not subtle big room, Garibaldi reaches into his mouth, pulls out a tooth, cracks off the top, and there's a transmitter coming on it. And like my note is, what if Wade had come back and gone, oh, hey, I forgot my tooth? Why are you holding your tooth with the That
was just for us. Yeah.
I think I need to, now again, it's probably low budget, right? They don't have the time.
This is the same thing we were talking about with Londo back on Centauri, because he had a huge talk just a few episodes with Veer about, now we have to be very careful. There are bugs all over here. See, there's one right here. We have about 5 minutes before they put another in. They've acknowledged it on the show. There's transmitters everywhere.
This also has a good example. This scene also has, like I mentioned space handcuffs earlier. This has one of my favorite thing, which is sci-fi/space whiskey. Like this, no matter where we are in time and space, there's going to be a guy with a drawer full of something nice.
Yep, I love it. Now we get the biggest show don't tell scene in the history of Babylon 5, right, Mike?
Yeah. Oh my God.
So Garibaldi is in the monorail that goes around Mars.
Yes, it reminded me of like the airport one. I know it from the airport, Atlanta airport. Yeah.
So he's just sitting in the. Oh yeah, he's just sitting in the monorail. Lise comes in and is, oh my God, I heard everything. Mike, we got to do something. Michael, we got to do something. And he just very stoically is, you need to leave and go. And then we get our big villain reveal. So Bester has been one of the big bads of the season, and he's paying off something he said in a previous episode where he's just like, they think they're making fun of me, but I have something that's going to hurt them so bad.
Yeah, this is it. And we haven't talked about this too much, but this was set up on the first episode of this season, and they've been slowly building up to this moment every time Bester comes back.
I'm going to show my ignorance. Was that Chekhov?
Yes.
Was that the actor that played? All right.
That is Chekhov.
He looked better than he aged gracefully, beautifully, wonderful.
Toupee, of course, obviously. It's so funny to see him with the ball. It's great.
So... that reminds me also, there's a few people in this show where this is the 90s era of you like balding people, very much balding were in vogue, and you didn't shave clean, you were visibly balding. And I liked that.
Love it. So Bester shows up, and it's just, I love what Mike said in the notes about it. What a little scamp. So Bester shows up, and it's just,
Bester.
He's tell me everything. And Garibaldi reveals everything. And so the full plot, as we already mentioned, Edgars has made a virus to take out telepaths. He's also made the cure, but the cure is going to make telepaths dependent on the drug. And so that's how they're going to keep the telepaths in line. This is specifically because Edgars is scared of telepaths, in addition to the fact that Clark has been weaponizing telepaths to use against everybody. And Bester is basically the head of the telepaths and is, I'm not letting people take it away. Other key point in the Shadow War, like telepaths were being used as a military wing as well. So Bester keeps saying, I'm doing what's right. I'm doing what's right for telepaths. They keep getting used as weapons. I'm gonna free him. So he's a very interesting villain because he does a lot of stuff, but every time he does it, I'm doing it for the good of telepaths. I'm doing it for the good of my people.
The best kind of villain has that motivation when you're like, I kind of get it.
Well, they give him that, and they give him the Mr. Freeze thing, too, because his lover is one of the telepaths who has had the implants by the Shadow People. So he has an uneasy alliance with Babylon 5 for a while earlier this season because he wants to help them figure out how to get her out of that.
Yeah, gotcha. and that gets to stay further there. Like telepaths, we've gotten into this weird thing where they do intentional breeding to try and breed stronger telepaths. So this is a group of people that doesn't get to have love, right? Because they're doing everything to make more telepaths, to do what's right for telepaths. So it makes a lot of sense there. And so what he kind of reveals is, in the Shadow War, the Shadows kidnapped Garibaldi and basically went, if Sheridan didn't turn to their side, they were going to try and turn him to their side, and then Sheridan said, haha, joke's on you, and dropped a nuke on him. So that's Sheridan's play. They were like, if Sheridan doesn't turn to our side, we're going to turn Garibaldi. They were not expecting Sheridan to drop a nuke, so Garibaldi got free, and the Psi Corps picked him up. And so Bester finds Garibaldi and is like, oh, we can use this. So they made him a shadow agent, pun intended, and we've seen this before. There was actually a character named Talia Winters that was on the show, was a key player. The actress decided to leave, but as a mechanism of writing her off, JMS revealed that the Psi Corps can implant secondary personalities in someone, a Manchurian candidate kind of thing that can take over. And so Bester's revealing, hey, we did that to you. We captured you. The program we sent Talia Winters through, we sent you through. And it's almost tragic in that he says, we didn't even have to do a full rewrite. You're just so paranoid and anti-authority that we just accentuated that and then made it impossible for anybody to see via a scan, like a telepathic scan. And then we were going to send you back. And his plan was to have a sleeper agent in the Babylon 5 Corps Command.
Okay.
Then inadvertently, Garibaldi decided to quit because he's so anti-authority. He's like, I quit.
It worked too well.
But then wound up in this weird Edgars plot thing in the background. So Mike made a joke because in a previous episode, Chekhov/Bester used the phrase bank shot incorrectly. In this case, it's the case though, because we have a sleeper agent in the Corps. Oh, he quit. What are we going to do? He wound up over in this big telepathic plot that probably is a lot more important. That's even better. They basically said, hey, they've been sending him messages. We've seen a couple episodes where Garibaldi will see a message come through, get a blank stare on his face, delete the message, say acknowledge. So Michael Garibaldi's been a sleeper agent this entire time. He's revealed this huge telepathic plot to Bester. And then, Bester uses, the magnanimous and capricious lines where he basically says, hey, I got what I needed out of you.
It's perfect for him. It's like the bank shot in question I was even thinking of was from, he got Sheridan too. Like he didn't even mean to, but because all this went over to the Edgars side, Edgars used Garibaldi, which wasn't even the original plan, which gets Bester out of his whole deals he was having to make with Sheridan around said girlfriend who Sheridan had things over. So it's like he's winning in every way he can out of this. It's like everything's coming up Bester.
Everything's coming up Bester.
Oh my God.
And we do have, by the way, in the flashback where he's showing the Manchurian candidate stuff, we briefly have a cameo from Harlan Ellison, who did a lot of collaborative work on the show.
That was Harlan Ellison. Oh my God.
Is the black and white scenes of him back in the ship. Yeah.
I wrote down the abominable scientist always must be filmed from low angles.
Garibaldi realizes that it's such a heart-wrenching scene because, Bester decides, you know what? I'm going to give your personality back. I've got what I needed. Go along your merry way. FYI, everybody thinks you betrayed them. And Garibaldi just screams almost the Darth Vader no to end the scene. And then we get two rough ones, which is Ivonava is like, you know what? Clark's got Sheridan. Almost a messed up line, almost millennial job mentality. Which that's what Sheridan always said. The person's disposable, the job isn't. It's like, dang, okay. She's like, we're going to keep going. And then she also hears Garibaldi's trying to contact you. And she goes, don't let him through. If you see him, shoot him on sight.
Shoot him on sight. I was like, this is for a military where we call people Susan in first name. It's like crazy that how the authority you have. Susan said to shoot you on sight. What kind of a hierarchy is this? What kind of organization?
This is a potential future article over at MikeSlater.com or just a tangent on, you got to check this out, Mike, where What makes me laugh about this is, in this universe, we have established things like death of personality. Some of you didn't see it, but like, they don't have the death penalty in the future. They replace your personality. A telepath replaces your personality.
Oh, that's much worse than death. That's glad to hear it. Wonderful.
Yeah. That was our take on that episode too. And I think we didn't do the episode proper when we were recapping. We were like, and that's messed up, right? Yep.
Yeah. Anything that comes up whenever talking about Wonder Woman 84 about, hey, here's this random guy we can have Steve come in your body and
that's
together.
Right.
Oh,
and
God, Wonder Woman,
up,
why did you do that?
He doesn't give you the memory of kissing this tall model lady. Yeah, no, terrible.
And then we've also literally, Susan Ivonava has seen Bester plant a sleeper agent in Talia Winters, who was her lover on the show.
Okay.
So the fact that Garibaldi is calling to say, hey, this wasn't me, and she's, I don't want to hear it, shoot him on sight. You have literally seen why this might not be true, but is what it is, makes for a good scene. Okay, this is just like the most torturous end for Garibaldi, because he's woken up, he's realized it. He goes back to Edgars. Edgars is dead. Wade is dead. The telepathic virus and cure are gone. There's blood everywhere. Hopefully he was smart enough to wipe the scene, because what we end on is an ISN report that says, hey, Edgars died mysteriously, right? And they show the photos. And then they also say, hey, Clark is happy about Sheridan. He's granted an extension on curfew. And then, by the way, here is Garibaldi's mugshot. He is the one that sold out Sheridan. He is the hero. So this episode ends so bleak. And Bester even said it in like Bester tells the whole story, including what we see at the end of the episode, where he's like, FYI, you sold out your captain, so you can't go back to Babylon 5. Your current employer ain't going to be around for much longer. You're screwed. At the end of this episode, we literally have a telecast that's just like, and Garibaldi is in so much trouble.
Yep. I summed it up in one of my favorite notes I put in, just shit is dark.
Yeah.
Dark.
My prediction is that who's the lady he told to go away when he was on? And the thing, he's going to go to her. That's all he might have right now.
It's what he's down to on Mars. Because he already ostracized himself to Mars before any of this went down.
If only he had a super powerful telepath on Mars that could help out. If only that had been set up.
Exactly.
Somehow, Mike, if only.
Yeah, but that brings us to the end of the journey for this episode.
I feel very lucky about this episode. I feel like it's not getting to see the protagonist mainly's kind of stuff, except for getting beat up and then drinking and being drugged in a bar. I feel very fortunate this kind of side or expositionary heavy episode, I might say, or like an episode that depends so much on this big revelation, was very cool to see it paced out. They knew they had to get this big information, the big twist with Garibaldi out, and to see them treat the rest of the episode as important. I feel really lucky that this was the episode I got to see, because everyone was just on their A game.
One of the common things we've been talking about for late episodes is that when we were going through season 1 and 2 episodes, as the series was really going off, a lot of people say, yeah, I'll check this out. I'll keep going with it. But as we got deeper into like season 3 and 4, a lot of people are like, no, this is like too much. I'm probably not going to go back and do any of this. But yeah, I think you got a real cooker to go on into.
I think,
you got a self-contained episode, and it was very much a Twilight Zone noir. It did, and you know what? This did read and makes a lot of sense. It read like a comic book, right? This was a comic book episode. Garibaldi on Mars.
100%. The flashes, they literally had frames, like still frames during the fight scene. Yeah, definitely comic book-esque. So many things that like it called to mind. Yeah, I'm very interested in at least I will be 100% honest, and I will say this is what I call like a dishwashing show. I want to see this show. I want to watch it. I probably need to be engaged in some other way while I do it. I need a physical action or something. I don't think I could sit down on the couch and watch like 5 episodes in a row. Or it might be a good a show to pick up. I encourage people sometimes to treat it like a regular show and watch an episode a week sometimes for shows and let it stew This would be a dishwashing show for me. Gladly would consume this.
Yep. Especially for the first season is mostly episode of the week, monster of the week type episodes.
I thought it might be
for that first season. There's only a couple episodes that they even really go pretty deep into what's going to be the overall plot. Besides that, the rest of the 20 episodes are pretty self-contained.
I guess an obvious comparison would be like Battlestar Galactica, the reboot. I think that's they set up a lot of plot and then they go, all right, we got to run a ship for like maybe the first season or two. But there's so many parallels with a lot of.
Yeah, once they establish the base, like here's what the show is about for Battlestar Galactica. I remember there was a lot of just written episodes of them trying to suss out, okay, who's going to be a Cylon? Who has we figured out yet?
Yeah.
And they let it cook for
the
a
sleeper
while.
Agent.
Just in that.
Yeah. Absolutely. There's something for every fan of a genre fiction in this show. It seems like it. Except I will say, was this episode unique in that there was like a overt lack of sexual tension of any sort at any point?
Oh no,
anybody.
This is anti-sexual attention for the most part.
Okay, I was about to say nobody at any point was like giving anybody like every interaction was like, I hate you. Yeah, I do not like being within physical proximity to you.
Okay, now you've actually given us tons of stuff of yourself. At the end of the show, we normally ask two things, right? Are you going to check out more? I loved your answer, dishwashing show. The other thing we usually give our guests, is there anything I think listeners check out? You've actually given a ton of, I'm excited to try and look for you as a background actor in a lot of stuff now. Just as fun, that sounds great. But is there other stuff that you think our listeners should check out?
Not that I'm involved with. I'll say this. This is the first year in a long time that I have not been on the production team for the Film Independent Spirit Awards in Los Angeles. So it's always the cool uncle, I would say, of the Oscars. Mm-hmm. It's a very cool award show. We always have cool hosts. You don't know what you're going to see. So if you get to, I think in March it is this year, go watch the Film Independent Spirit Awards. It'll be on IMDb. It'll be on YouTube. And then I just will give a plug. Maybe 5 or 6 years ago, there was a Netflix miniseries. I think if someone likes Babylon 5, it's not genre fiction, kind of. It's called Jiri Haji, which it's about, I think, plot-wise, and there's some things that are emotionally similar. This Japanese cop has to go to London to find his Yakuza brother. Yeah. And Kelly MacDonald is a cop there, and there's a male prostitute, and his daughter in Japan like stows away on something and goes try to find him. And then it's this very odd crime mystery until the last 10 minutes, where if you make it there, it changes not only genre, but medium. It changes like what it is. It changes narrative. It changes everything about it. Like it straight up changes everything in a very interesting way and takes the characters in. I tell everyone about this show on Netflix, Jiri Haji, that I absolutely love. And a little more on the nose for Sci-Fi Utopia, the original UK Utopia show, both seasons. A comic book talks about a virus that's going to kill all the world's population. And these comic book nerds read it, and now they're being hunted down by a vast cabal of intelligence agents around the world because they now have the secret about how the world's going to be ending. Oh, it's great. It's two seasons.
How old is that? I never heard of that.
Oh, early 2010s, excuse me. Oh, and what's funny is that it's basically about a virus, right, that they're going to release out in the world. Amazon tried to remake it, and they released it in summer of 2020. A show about a virus that's specifically engineered to kill the population of the world. It's a great show, great cast. That's more genre recommendation. There's so much good stuff there. It's also very visually specific, visually as a language all its own, color scheme wise as well.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have to check that out too. I've never heard of this. We were just talking
Utopia?
about a bunch.
You never heard? Oh my God.
No, I have. We were just talking about a bunch of British TV series, mostly comedy with John in the last episode.
The first 10 minutes will sell you 100% on Utopia. So good. So good.
Yeah,
I love both. Yeah, these both look amazing. Just look at Jiri Haji. It's got Justin Long in it. That sold me just on the
stamp of approval right there.
Man, Ait, everything I could have hoped for. This was amazing. I'm glad we finally gave, Mike, I'm glad we gave a self-contained episode to someone new in season 3, 4. I was starting to feel a little bad. Mike, anything else you want to end up on? Tease the next show for our listeners, and then we can blow this popsicle stand.
Yeah, I got nothing else new I want to recommend this time. So I'll just tell everybody that, hey, we're going to be finishing out season 4 of Babylon 5 in our next full episode. We're going to do another double. It went so well last time for the start of the season, so why not finish it off the same way, Dre? So we're going to be watching episodes 20 and 21, Endgame and Rising Star. We're not going to get to the very last episode of the season, but the 2 penultimate episodes, if I can combine them together in one penultimate episode before that, 20 and 21. You can watch it before next week.
To keep on the little nerd point, the reason we're not really doing the finale is, as we mentioned, JMS got the show extended unexpectedly. So he didn't have a true season finale, which he had done for the first 3 seasons of the show. He did a mid-season episode. It's almost a clip show episode that was going to be early on in season 5. He put that as the end. It is the season finale, but it's not the true season finale. So we're doing like the faux season finale as the end, which is episodes 20 and 21, as mentioned. All right, everyone. Thanks so much. Make sure to you got to check us out anywhere podcasts are found. MikeSlater.com for so much bonus content you can't even shake your fist at. And then Patreon.com/Jeff May, which is what birthed all this and can potentially help do more. And there might be like some unpacking and card stuff there someday, maybe, Mike, when all the stars align. Thanks, everybody. I'm Dre, found most places as Nerd Numbers. Mike, found most places as Slatron11. And then, of course, MikeSlater.com. And then Ait, found as Ait.
Ait Fetterolf, thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate this. This was cool as heck. Yeah.
Yeah, we really appreciate your time. Thanks for coming out. And thanks for listening, everybody. Cheers, all.
The gentleman's outfit needed a belt. That was the main thing I wrote about that scene. The woman had a lovely ornate belt, and most times when you put a tunic on a man in sci-fi, it just needs to cinch it together. You need that belt. I'm sorry. That's all I had.